Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back for another Total War video with the Terminator. About 10 months ago, I released a video on why the next major Total War game is going to be based on a historical time period. My prediction back then was that Creative Assembly was probably already working on this new game for a few years, based on some leaked info, jobs on their website advertising a new tentpole historical feature, and other bits here and there as well. Basically, all the signs pointed to a resurgence of history in Total War. Since then, we've had Warhammer 3, we've had Immortal Empires, so things have been moving on that side of Total War, but we haven't heard much about what might be happening in the background in the historical world. Whether CA is actually working on a game and whether it may be announced this year is still up in the air, but I am a firm believer that it will happen. It's only a matter of time. So in today's video, I want to pivot on the topic a little bit because whenever I mention the prospect of a new historical, people tend to become very skeptical, and rightly so. But in this video, I want to try and change your minds and tell you why the next historical has the potential to be one of the best in the series. Now, speaking of skeptical people and leaked information, you know what I'm skeptical about? Online marketing tracking and protecting my personal data. And recently, I've started using a VPN that not only keeps my online presence secure, but that actually helps me with my gaming habits as well. Atlas VPN is a super intuitive service used by millions of people around the world. It protects your data with the best software currently available. It optimizes online gaming speeds by reducing lag and ping. It gives you access to new geolocations to play games that might be locally restricted, and much, much more. Atlas VPN is all of that, and it's well reviewed, which is a major plus in my books. And if you don't like it, it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. So go to get.atlasvpn.com/theterminator to get a limited time exclusive discount of $199 per month for 3 years. And by using this link, you'll be directly supporting the channel as well. So thank you. Now, let's get on to the topic at hand. There are 3 key reasons why CA's next historical game is going to be an absolute banger of a Total War. The first and foremost obvious reason is it's time for change. Roughly every 5 to 7 years, Total War goes through an evolution or reimagining. We first saw this with Rome Total War, released in 2004, which was wildly different to the previous game Medieval. Then we got Empire, which was a massive jump compared to Medieval 2 in scale with its huge world map and brand new mechanics like technology trees. And finally, we got Warhammer in 2016, and of course, compared to Attila, it was all completely different and new as well. So the next major shift should be happening roughly now, almost 7 years since the first Warhammer was launched. And this next phase in Total War will be a fresh new take on what a historical game could look like. Old and new time periods, new and better gameplay mechanics made by dev teams and development processes that are different to the last major historical games of 10 or 20 years ago. The main point here is this is the moment of uncertainty and change that leads to the most creative and innovative games. In my eyes anyway, this is what players today take for granted. They think of a new historical title and imagine Rome 2 or Attila, when the reality is Creative Assembly will be doing something completely new with it all, and we honestly owe it to ourselves to shed our expectations and have open minds about what this new approach will be like to really give it a chance. The next reason is simple. It will not be rushed. There's no doubt that almost all Total War games have launched a bit rough around the edges, some more than others, especially in the last few years. It always seems like CA is churning titles to meet business targets without actually properly testing and QAing for issues that need to be resolved. Warhammer 2, and especially recently with Warhammer 3, are the best examples of this. The games launched with plenty of issues, from campaign map performance to buggy character models to features that straight up didn't work or were imbalanced. But when you take a step back and look at the whole picture, you can really see that the games were launched with a meet business goals now, fix issues later mentality. On the other hand though, when you look at the most recent historical-ish games like Three Kingdoms or Troy, they launched with far less issues. I mean, as far as Total War launches go, they were triumphs. They were relatively balanced, and for the most part anyway, they delivered what people expected. The difference I'm talking about, of course, here is they were not rushed out games. CA spent relatively more time making these games, testing and resolving most of the issues, and launching them without what seems like massive pressure to meet business deadlines. The next historical game, I'm betting, has been in the works for a few years now. CA is taking their time with this one, just like Troy and 3K, and for me at least, that's a very good reason to be hopeful, because rushed games, as we all know, are bad games. Finally, the biggest reason why the next historical game will be amazing is because CA can now make a proper world map. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to come out straight away on release or that Empire wasn't a full world map, but what Immortal Empires shows is from a technology and development point of view, Total War has finally achieved a full world-spanning, functioning, multiple continent campaign map full of hundreds of factions, dozens of unique gameplay mechanics, and a massive amount of replayability. The fact is, the scale of Warhammer 3 and its Immortal Empires, the same kind of pushing boundaries, testing new styles of mechanics, and even brand new features is something that's not been done in a major proper historical game in a long time. With a historical period like the medieval eras, the Age of Discovery, or the Victorian era, or even all three, a world-spanning historical game has immense opportunity in a way that we cannot even imagine, and that's when Total War is at its best. Now, the real point I want to make here is that, setting our biases aside, alright? Yes, Immortal Empires and its map and factions and scale is right now the crowning achievement of Total War. So what we should be asking ourselves, and I guarantee what CA has been working on, is how do we dethrone Immortal Empires to make a new crowning achievement? How do we make something even bigger, grander, and more replayable than ever? The next game isn't going to be the pinnacle if it equals Immortal Empires. It needs to surpass it to be the best. And that is exactly why the next historical game is going to be absolutely amazing. 10 months ago, I assumed that CA would be announcing this next phase of Total War this year, or up until now. Of course, with every prediction, there's a risk I might be wrong. But whether something will get announced soon or next year, historical is next, and no doubt it will usher us into a new era of evolved grand world conquering on a scale of which we've never seen before. Whatever happens in the next few years, Total War is stronger and more popular than ever. The community and the developers are more passionate about the games than ever before, and we owe it to ourselves to keep the idea of a new historical alive for the future of the series, because things are about to get very interesting. And that's it for today, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, please do leave a like and let me know your thoughts or questions in the comment section below. I would love to hear what you think about everything I've discussed here today. Don't forget to subscribe for more Total War content, gameplay, and news. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.